Gabrielle is, of course, still making its way past New Zealand. Waka Kotahi is advising motorists to plan ahead for potential travel disruption and road closures, of course, in the Greater Wellington region, as consistent rainfall and high winds are expected in the next 24 hours. Also, water levels at the State Highway 53 Waihinga Bridge in the Wairarapa are expected to peak later this afternoon, and the bridge is likely to close.
Well, joining us now is MetService's broadcast meteorologist Angus Hines. Kia ora, Angus. Thank you for joining us. Is Cyclone Gabrielle still bringing rain to some regions?
Kia ora, good afternoon. Yeah, Cyclone Gabrielle remains as an intense, powerful and very broad weather system. The slightly brighter news, I suppose, is that the worst of the rain has passed for most of the worst affected areas. So Northland, Auckland, Coromandel, the worst of the rain has moved through there, and it is a drier outlook for those regions. Some places, though, are still forecast to get a lot more wet weather through the rest of the day today and overnight tonight, primarily down the eastern coastline of the country, all the way from Gisborne down to around about Christchurch. It's going to stay pretty wet. There is certainly a sting in the tail in terms of the wind, though, over the next 12 to 24 hours, and those exceptionally strong, gusty southerlies or southwesterlies are forecast to continue for the rest of the day.
OK, Angus, so you're telling us that Cyclone Gabrielle still has heavy rain left in her, and that's going to come down along the east coast of the North Island, where, of course, because of power outages and the cell phone towers being out, we haven't been able to be in touch with many people there.
Yeah, you're right. There's still further rain on the menu for those eastern areas, Gisborne, Hawke's Bay, Wairarapa in the North Island, and then coastal parts of Marlborough and the Kaikoura coastline at the top of the South Island. For those worst hit areas like Gisborne and Hawke's Bay, probably the rain to come is not as intense as the rain which has fallen in the past 36 hours or so, but it is further wet weather falling onto saturated and flooded parts of the country. So we're not done with this thing yet.
Angus, there's still strong wind around the country. Can Kiwis expect to see that lessen in the likely future?
Yeah, it will slowly but surely ease away, mostly tomorrow, really. It's still going to be a really blustery day today. Wind gusts could exceed 100 kilometres an hour through many regions around the North Island and Upper South Island through this afternoon and this evening. From tonight, though, through the day on Wednesday, we should see a gradual but sure easing to those winds and those wind gusts.
That is very welcome news indeed. And can you tell us, where is Cyclone Gabrielle heading now? Who's in the firing line?
So Gabrielle is currently positioned sort of north of East Cape, that very northeastern corner of the North Island. You just go a little bit further north, and that's where the middle of the storm currently is. The track is taking it southeastwards. That means, in general, it is moving away from mainland New Zealand, and that's why we see the weather effects start to lessen, particularly as we look into tomorrow. One area that does have to watch out for tomorrow, though, is the Chatham Islands, because the path of the storm looks to take it really close to the Chathams by the end of the day tomorrow, and it's looking really wet, really windy with humongous waves out there by about this time tomorrow.
That's MetService's broadcast meteorologist Angus Hines. Thank you for your time this afternoon.